We're back in that same swamp where we were last night, a lot further back, and we're just trying to navigate further back, but we're running into a lot of hunter sign. Back behind me, we ran into some traps. I wouldn't even think trapping season be open this early, but apparently it is. And now, I mean, we're a good ways from the truck, and we're in the back border. And this guy has a stand here on his property, perfectly legal to leave stands on your own property like that, overlooking the fence onto the public. But look at this, he took a chainsaw and cut all the trees down that were in his way. I mean, obviously he's doing that for rifle season, but that can't be legal to just chainsaw all these trees down.
I'm not sure if it is in Nebraska or not.
You see, that one's a fresh cut right there. So he comes in here every year and trims this off.
Even if it is legal, I don't necessarily agree with it. You're cutting 4 stone for a shot at a deer.
Right, and look where he's sitting with a rifle. He's shooting deer way out in these cattails. Yeah. It's a good spot, but I don't necessarily think you should be cutting these trees down.
I think it was a good spot.
We got way to the back of the property, ran into those tree stands and stuff, and didn't like what we saw. We ended up circling back, and Eric went to where he left off yesterday, and I went to where I left off yesterday, which means I walked like 5 miles, 4 of which are out of the way. But I went way past where I was yesterday and kept going and going and going and going until I got in here, which is way around a bend where I couldn't see. And there's still a lot of tracks in the sand here, as you can see. And I saw this little patch of trees. There ain't much out here. But this is like the last trees a guy could get in, and a guy could get in that tree there. And there's a heavy, heavy trail right here coming down to the river. It looks like it's getting pummeled. I can even see a skull on the trail, so I know it's not people. But I'm too far back for people anyways, but I can see something in the grass here. Yeah, I can see a neck bone there. So I'm thinking I'm getting in that tree right there. The wind's a little bit funky because there are some trails filtering through here. But I think I can hit anything moving in here. Or maybe I can even get eyes on something. I was sitting way, way up there. I came around the bend, came into here, get up this tree here. These are the only trees over here. Got that heavy trail going through here, heavy trail here. Some good trails going through there. Open grassy area. Oh, there's a deer. I need to get set up and just sit still. I like the way they don't even care about you here. That came out of there, I'm betting. Yeah, I don't think it knows what I am. I think it thought I was a bird or something. So I saw a doe and a fawn when I first got to the tree as I got set up. About 10 minutes later, another lone doe came out. And then I didn't see anything that just before closing time, a spike buck came out. I didn't get film of that stuff because the camera's down a little lower. And they crossed over at about 45, 50 yards from a little shallow spot and went into this thick cover over here. Never came into the opening underneath me.
I found this long, narrow strip of timber just by mapping, and I crawled my way in here. And it's not exactly what I expected as far as trees to set up in. There's a lot of good buck sign. There's historical rubs. There's bedding everywhere. I probably kicked a few out of here, but this will be our last night in here, so I'm just being aggressive as possible. So what I have in front of me is a really heavy deer trail coming out of this little hole here, And it's got to come off of those islands, or at least off the tips of those islands. And then I have a heavy travel corridor running straight across out to some willow brush over here and into swamp and cattail. This is also swamp and cattail over here. And I would believe there are a few, well, I know that there are a few trees out there and a lot of willow brush and all kinds of good bedding. So if I have something come in, it is literally going to be a 7-8 yard shot.
I think today's going to be a kill. I'm going out there to kill today. Well, I got out here, I decided to do a little practice shooting. As you can see, one bad one and one pretty much in there. So a little dicey at 50 yards. But below that should be good. Rhino. Hope this blind really works out. It does have a possibility of ruining the spot. These bucks are curious, so I'm hoping they'll walk up to the blind instead of running away from it. But their history has told us that they will be curious and check it out. So we're coming out with a dead deer tonight.
This little green patch right here is where they were hanging out. You can see all that undergrowth that I could not get a shot through. So I'm going to set up here. Hopefully they come out here or there. I'm going to angle my blind that way and pray for the best. Okay, I'm completely ready to go. It is 3:45. I think closing's right around 8:30, 8:34 maybe. I'm gonna verify that. But I got this right here in front of me. That's that little green patch they were in. I'm able to peek the window just to be able to see down the trail. So we're gonna have a dead deer tonight.
Right at closing, about 100 yards north of me. I believe it was a buck, it had a larger body. Went from north of me to my west, and we had an east wind, so it probably winded me downwind. Kind of frustrating. Thought this might happen if he comes out and sees the blind, but we didn't have much choice of anything else to do.
Dan and I decided to jump into a swamp that Jacob had been glassing and spot a good buck in here. So Dan and I decided to give it a go in the sandhills and the swamp terrain. We got in here at pretty good time this morning, before gray light, and I got set up right as shooting light started. So I got in here at the right time. Probably could have got in a little sooner, but it was a long trek in here. So it's hard to gauge exactly how long that takes, but I'm sitting off of a little timber point into a green field, and I'm just expecting those deer in the green field. We know they're feeding there, to pour down into this little funnel and work their way into the swamp. Jacob had stalked a buck out here, and I wasn't able to get a shot on him, but it was a pretty good one. And actually where that buck was bedded was behind me, probably 150 yards. That's actually where Dan is set up this morning. But I could just see You know, there's cattails mixed in with grass in here. There's nice big trees. Uh, just letting me know that there should be solid enough ground underneath those trees for a buck to bed. I'm not going to be able to see all the way down if something drops into them. It's unlikely. But I feel like in here, if he is bedding in here, he should feel comfortable, and, you know, maybe he'll move around in here a bit before he beds down.
We slid out to where Jacob stalked that big buck and didn't get it. Eric set up over there, I set up here. We didn't really have a good morning destination, so we thought we'd just give this a try. Because Jacob thought there was a lot of deer in here. All we had come by was a doe and 2 fawns. They came from over there. The wind started switching. The wind's bad now. And they winded Eric and ran past me here. So, you get this big marsh back here, but when you get down into that marsh, the cattails and stuff are real low. So, I mean, they're not bedding in the marsh. They're bedding on this edge. And those trees where Eric is a good bedding area. And that's actually where the buck was bedding, that big buck Jacob was after. And they're better underneath these trees where there's shade. There's a green field over the top that we thought they'd come from, but they actually, the only ones we saw today came from that way. I'm up 2 sticks on this crazy tree. Kind of just crawled up here and got just enough to get over some shots. I set up in here in the dark without ever being here before, but he said that that big buck bedded right underneath this tree. I think that's the bed right there. It's a fresh bed from a big buck, it looks like. Look at this tangle. There's no way you get close enough to stalk a deer like that. You know, I think if you get close in here and you can wait for him to get up, maybe. I don't even think I could do that. Just looking at that from my perspective, for me, I think I have to see a deer go in bed something like that and try to figure out how he leaves or how he comes in and cut him off.
Last night, probably 100 yards out over there, I think he came out of the corn. He circled this way and went right in there somewhere and caught my downwind and went towards that island. So today with the wind, I can't be here. So I'm gonna go up to the point on those cedars so I can watch the corn and watch the field. 7:17 right now. I haven't seen anything so far. But we got a storm rolling in. I might get hit about 7:35. I hope it goes over quick or doesn't hit. Here comes the storm. quite a wet one. That big 9-pointer came out about 8 o'clock. And as you saw from the footage, the weather just got worse and worse. And I ran out of light because he pretty much stayed there right at the edge of the corn in one spot. He didn't travel north, he didn't travel south. He stayed right in that one spot. Well, there's one more day left. Have to set up a plan for tomorrow and hope it all works out.
So we're having truck problems again. First we got one tire that's leaking air like crazy. So once a day we got to fill it up with air. Now the bumper's falling off. I mean, we tightened it on once, as you can see, but that's not really holding it. I think we're gonna lose it, and it's got my license plate attached, so I don't really want to lose it. So we're gonna tie it on. And
I told them just to let it go, just save the plate and stick it in the window.
so it's I don't want to let it go. It's got a Trump sticker on it.
No, that's just the shroud on the top.
An original Trump sticker.
There you go.
Just gotta tie this thing on. I should be like a bumper repair person. I could have like a, a garage on the side of the road fixed with bumpers.
Yeah, low overhead, just a roll of twine.
Yeah. $500 and put your bumper back on for it.
Yeah. 5 minutes. Done.
See these? I got this from Utica Cutlery.
Nice.
These are some good knives. Might do something beast with these. I don't know. I wanted to check them out.
Pretty sharp, huh?
Yeah. Sharper than me today. What are we going on, like 3 hours sleep?
Yep. Look at that. You're done.
Bumper be fixed.
$500. 3-minute job, and a roll of twine, and a Utica knife.
Nice.
This road leaves a little to be desired, eh?
Yeah. We're out in the wilderness now.
I'm just hoping that the fix of the muffler works out. Eric thinks it's funny that I put the muffler back on with a hanger I had in my emergency kit. Now, who doesn't have a clothes hanger in their emergency kit? I don't think the muffler is actually connected in the front, but it is wired up with a coat hanger now.
Yeah, no need for a coat hanger in the emergency kit when you just get rid of it.
Right? He was like, just throw it away. I'm like, no, I'm gonna wire it up. It is wired to the frame of it.
It's not serving a functional purpose.
But right now we're going through ruts where the center of the road comes up about 2 feet, and we're wondering how long that is going to stay there.
It is just a parasite, that muffler hanging there.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Maybe our feet will fall through like cattle.
Gosh, I hope that muffler don't drag.
Eric wanted to see if we could find some mule deer in the sandhills, and he found a road, an onyx. This is the road, and we've been taking this road for 20 miles.
Well,
I've got white knuckles going through these sand pits and almost sinking to the axles and barely getting through them. And now we got one last sand pit to go through. I want to show you what he's got me going through here. This is it right here. What do you think? Piece of cake? What is that, like a 10-foot drop there? And there's like 10 feet over there. We're just gonna like jump it or what?
look at the size of those tracks. We're in them.
We're in them. We're in them.
Dan's he is survival mode right now. He's looking for plums on bushes and stuff.
Yeah. Look at
Yeah,
this.
we are out in the middle of nowhere. We got an adventure, that's for sure.
You're
I'm kinda
crazy.
having-
You're crazier than I am.
I'm having a good time.
Yeah, until we starve to death out here. You know, if we break down, we're dependent on Ricky. That's not good. Turns out this trail doesn't have any tracks on it going to the next road because it ends where a bridge is washed out and you have to drive through a river that's 482 feet deep. And I really don't think the truck will make it through 482 feet deep. So looks like we're turning around.
Yeah, this is
How far back are we?
boy, 20 miles?
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Yeah.
I don't even know how far the main road is. It's quite a ways.
Looks like at some point they're planning on fixing the bridge
Right.
because they dropped that out in the middle of nowhere. I don't even know how they got it out here. The road goes right through here and then down into the river.
This is what stories are made of.
Yeah.
Right here.
So we grabbed some boards from this old ranch that's broken down and some tin in case we get stuck in that hole or one of those other holes, and we're gonna turn around and go back. But it's worse going back than it was coming in because a lot of that stuff is real steep the other direction. But maybe if I get her up to about 90 miles an hour, we'll be okay.
Did we fix it flat?
Yeah.
Came over here
Yeah, we had that.
and filled up your spare.
Yeah, the spare was flat. This, the driver's side tire. No, this one, right? Yeah, this tire was leaking air like a sieve. We put Fix-A-Flat in it,
To be honest,
and it's still leaking a little.
tires deflated a little bit to try and help your traction. Not that we want to deflate them.
Yeah,
We
see, it was
absolutely
part of the
have
plan, right?
to. Yep.
It's part of the plan. All right,
At least we got your bumper still.
so maybe nobody will hear from us again, and one day they'll find our skeletons in a truck out here.
Yeah, there's that. Well, there was that other road that came out of that water hole. We could investigate that a little bit, see if there's a crossing.
He's taking me down another road. I traversed into this marsh here. It's down here in the sandhills. And Eric went to a different spot, a different marsh, about a mile over. And all these trees are dead in here. They all burned. I'm gonna get in this one up here if I can. And there's a real heavy trail coming through here. And I'm expecting travel coming out of here and along here. I mean, it could come out too far down or something, but I'm hoping that if they do come too far down, I can jump down and go after them, maybe. I don't know. But there is a really heavy, fresh trail right there. And this is a jungle. I do think further up might be better because it gets narrower and thicker, more bedding-ish. But those deer coming this way, I think if I walk through them here, I'll bush these out of here, and I already jumped 2 deer coming here. So I'm gonna set up right here. When I got in the tree, everything was cool and stuff. I got everything set up, got the camera set up, everything. And all of a sudden, a storm started blowing. And first it was just like these really big raindrops, like the size of a quarter.
Yep.
I mean, almost weird how big they were. And they were just pelting me. And then I put the camera in my pocket to wait for it to pass, and all of a sudden the thunder and lightning hit. And then the wind just picked up to, I mean, it had to be 60 miles an hour. And I was in a dead pine tree that had burned halfway through the base, and it was sketchy without the wind. Because it was calm when we got there, so I thought I was cool in there as long as I didn't move around too much. And that thing started cracking and stuff. I thought I was going down in that tree. So I got the heck out of the tree, and man, it was crazy even climbing down. When I lowered my bow was blowing out sideways.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I was trying to get it to the ground without it catching in the trees downwind of me. And then as I'm climbing down, big hail balls start hitting. It was nuts.
Dan and I are hunting a swamp that Jacob had glassed for us on some islands, some cottonwood islands, and along some cattails and mix of grass and that kind of thing. And Jacob spotted a really nice shooter buck. So Dan and I, for the last night, decided to make a move on this buck. We're not entirely sure where this thing is actually bedded, so it's kind of a guess. But there are a few different likely scenarios where this buck is bedded. Dan has some willow brush that he's hunting up this way, probably, I don't know, 300 yards. I'm actually like directly downwind of him, which is not ideal, but if we can do it and leave one scent stream in this property, one trail of scent, that's probably going to be best outcome. But yeah, I decided to, I just followed some trails around as I worked my way in here, and I decided to set up right on the edge of like a little cattail. It's a little pocket of cattail swamp right behind me, and then there's actually some open grass straight in front of me, and it transitions back into cattails, and then it transitions to phragmites. Just had 4 doe come running through, downwind of Dan, and I just saw another doe working her way through. She's tucked down behind the cattails right now. It's probably hard to see in the camera, but deer are definitely on the move already. Got a buck straight ahead of me. He's at about 50 yards right now, tucked into some grass. Hoping he makes his way in here, but I did just get something downwind of me just blew too. I'm thinking it was a doe. That buck, for some reason, and he's not downwind of me, he just decided to bound off and took off into some phragmites. The closest shot I had was probably 50 yards, and he was down in some really tall grass. So I couldn't even see behind his shoulder. Never would have been a good shot. Looks like he's actually swinging his rack around on some weeds. He's kind of been in the same spot for a little while here.
What I'm gonna do now is get on a high point and glass every single little piece of bedding, especially that downwind where he ran to. Every single piece of bedding I'm gonna glass. I don't care, it takes all day. I don't care what buck I see. I don't care if it's that one or a different one. I'm gonna spot a shooter in his bed. And when he gets up, I'm gonna put a stalk on him. I'm gonna kill him. It's gonna happen today. Good buck. I might go after him just for the experience. He's in a killable position. I think I could kill him. I might just do it.
Too far. Too high of a shot. He's down. He's down. Let's go.
He's not a giant, but I'll tell you what, folks, it'll do. That's my first out-of-state whitetail trip. Spotting and stalking them. God, what a day. Ups and downs, man. Hey, you know, this has just been such an amazing experience. Oh, thank you, God. There he is. Nice. That's the angle I had to take. Oh, sweet. Nice little basket that gate. Man, I certainly shot bigger, but that'll do. That was really cool. He was rubbing too. Nice. I got one.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh my god, yay! Did you find him?
Yep.
You did?
Yep.
Oh my god, yay!
There's one right up behind me. There's one right back here. They're all around me. He's all gutted out. He's all gutted out. It's time for me to get dragging here. I haven't got a text back from the guys yet, so we'll see how this goes. Might be solo here.
Nice.
It's I'm Jacob.
Hey, I'm Ryan.
Ryan, nice to meet you.
Hey, Shane.
Shane, nice to meet you. Yeah, this is my first out-of-state deer, so
Oh yeah.
I tried to get as far as I could.
Really only walking like 1.3 miles over there. Well, I did. The first 3 days straight, I did 8+ miles. Oh, good. Yeah. I almost freaking died with dehydration the first day. Yeah, I had glass of spot or something. I'm sure
Man, I thought Ricky would be the one to pull it off. Property he was hunting. All those bucks. Congratulations, Jacob. That was a heck of a stalk. You impressed me with that. If you guys want to see more for Jacob, he's got a YouTube page called The Wild Calling. Go there, check it out. He should have his version of his hunts with a lot more footage than we included here. We had to cut ours down to make them, you know, palatable for everybody. So check him out. So you come out here and you hunt. We went to swamp, we went to hills, we went to vast wildernesses and open plains and marshes and stuff. I mean, if we could do this all over again, knowing what we know now from everybody's intel on both teams, what do you think you'd do different if we came here for another week?
I think I would get into a decent sized property and kind of stage hunt it down and kind of work our way around, because you take a look at this, there's only so many places for a deer to hide, and I think you can cover a lot of ground, you know,
Even
with a
look
couple
at-
guys.
Even look
stage
at this.
hunting it.
I mean, you can see all the different little pockets that the deer live in, and there's obviously just tons of deer out here.
Because what we were kind of doing was jumping property to property
Yep.
and not getting anything figured out, and just kind of sitting based off of, you know, map.
Yeah, I did want to kind of really see the area and see what it had to offer in
Yeah.
different types of terrain, different types of hunting. But kill-wise, I think you're absolutely right. I mean, you think about where I was looking at sitting right there, and the storm kind of screwed it up. But if a guy sat there in the morning, he could watch all these bedding areas and stuff and either rule this area out or, you know, and then you could just hunt this whole series of marshes on this property. I mean, this is tens of thousands of acres, and it's got the same number of deer as like tens of thousands of acres by us.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get in here, you can see them.
Yeah,
By us, they
truly-
can go by you 50 yards. You don't even know they were there.
Yeah, you start to understand the advantage of actually, you know, glassing some of this.
Right.
Like you just said, because you can see them, and that allows you to make moves on them, you know, based upon where you're seeing them. You can look at them and see how they're using terrain before you go in and hunt them.
Yeah, one of my best tools with the Maven Optics, being able to just glass. You see something move and see if it's a deer.
Mm-hmm.
This is really unique territory.
You wanna know what pisses me off? You selfish
going hunting all the time. You walk away, you plan your goddamn trips, and at no point do you say, is there anything you need me to do before I leave? Is there something I can help you with?
I always try to make sure I get stuff done before I leave.
And then when you come home, I'm so tired. I don't your ass is just on vacation. I don't care if you're tired. Zero cares about you being tired. I hope you're tired. I hope you get a hangnail.
I ain't talking about being tired.
Yeah, you are. You whine about every time you come home from hunting. Or you fall asleep with your mouth hanging open. Doing the open mouth Jello Knife head bob.